For information about investing in character-led companies, please visit www.rocinvestments.com and join the growing number of investors choosing to make character a priority when investing their money.
How did your mind begin to reform? What were some moments in that process that you started to developing a certain new ruler for behavior, new ruler for right and wrong, new ruler for character, developing character inside? Like, how did the program start to grow that in you? Because, it sounded like, your brain was affected by the drugs so early on, so its inability to really absorb or go in the direction you probably needed to go was repressed or messed up early. How did you start reforming your mind?
That's a really good question, Dan. Thank you for asking that. Delancey Street is a community of healthy living. And when I got there, right, I'd been around a long time, done a lot of time in and out of jails. And when I got there, there was 200, I was number 276. So there's 275 people. I'm number 276 the day I get there on the population sheet. So there was a lot of people in Delancey Street when I got there that I knew. I'm like, holy shit. Where I thought you were in prison for life. Jeff, I thought you were dead. Steve, my God, it's good to see you. However, they were different people. They didn't talk the way they used to. There was no homie this, homie that. They were different people. They carried themselves differently. They dressed differently. And I thought, I'll be damned, what's going on here? Perceived similarities. Here's some people I knew and people I did dirt with that are completely transformed. So I said, help me get where you're at. Throughout that process, they kicked my ass.
You had examples that you saw it was possible.
Yes. It was so important to see people that I had known, right, in the lifestyle that had changed. When I saw that, I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. It wasn't a doctor or a counselor or a therapist sitting me down going, okay, Dave, how you feeling today? And what does that make you feel like? And do you need some medication? It wasn't that kind of party. My God, that would have killed me. That stuff didn't work for me. I needed my peers to kick my ass. I needed my peers to tell me the truth about who I'd become. I needed to go into those group settings and sit down and have people just like me that are farther removed put their foot in my southern exposure and shake it around, right? Make me really uncomfortable. Tell me what a bold-faced liar I had become, what a cheater I had become, what a violent monster I had become. We live in a country right now where we're so deathly afraid to tell people the truth. Oh my God, we can't say that. It'll hurt their feelings. Do you think I gave a shit about anybody's feelings when I was moving guns and drugs? Don't be concerned about my feelings. Tell me the truth. That's why Delancey Street works so well. I was told the truth about me. And then I go to bed, I call it taking it to the pillow, right? Holy shit, they're right. That is me. The next game, Tuesday night, holy shit, they're right. That is me. Slowly but surely, they started chipping away at all those rough edges. And thankfully, it wasn't state funded, right, where I had to leave on a particular day when the money ran out. I got to stay as long as I needed to. I endured all that harsh feedback. And slowly but surely, I started to grow up. I can sum up a TC in one word: maturation. I get there at 38. I'm living like I'm 12. You got to close that gap between your chronological age and your emotional age. And Delancey Street helped me do it because I stayed for 8.5 years. And when I finally left, I knew how to tell the truth. I knew how to be accountable. I know what integrity means. I'm the same person in every room. I'm unapologetically me, right? But I do the right thing for the right reasons. I help other people. I stayed in that organization and I ran it for the last 5 years that I was there. Multi-million-dollar organization, Dan, and I ran it for free. You couldn't have paid me to do it. Let me explain to you why. Just so happens I have this in my office. What is that right there?
It's a justice scale.
So when I got to Delancey Street, I couldn't tip them any farther. This is all the shit I'd done, all the people I'd hurt, all the damage I'd done to people. They were tipped like this. The only way I could get to a better place was to help people, help people, help people, do interviews, get people out of jail, help people, help people. And at 4 years in Delancey Street, my soul told me I could go live my life outside the same way I'm living it here, that I had done as much good as I had done bad. The soul will tell you, right? I knew I'd balanced the scales. And then I stayed 4 more years and tipped them in the other direction. And when I left Delancey Street, I had no more guilt. I had no more remorse. I did, gosh, I didn't feel bad. I literally helped hundreds, if not thousands of people get from where I was to where I had gotten. The soul is the scorekeeper. People don't pay attention to it. And when you go to a 30, 60, or 90-day model, you do not have enough time to balance the scales. And balancing the scales is the bone for our wounds. I did so much damage to people, Dan, so much damage. I hurt my families, my kids that I didn't raise, my spouses that I completely abused, innocent people, stuffing them in trunks of cars, guns in their mouths. I did all kinds of things that should have got me life sentences that probably impacted those people for a long, long time going forward. I owed it being able to stay in an organization where I could help transform other people's lives, transformed mine. And I realized something. I love people. I love doing good, right? It was always in me. I just needed to hone that skill, if you will. And I fell in love with helping people. And at about 8.5 years, I decided to leave Delancey Street. I wanted to go, I was 46. It's time I go practice what I've learned. I need to put a life together, right? I leave Delancey Street. I get a job at Burkich, Berkich, Burkich Construction in Southern California. I met the owner of that company. He did a project at my facility. I'll never forget him. And he said, Dave, when you're done here, I want to hire you. When I was done, he put me in the Teamsters Union. His name is Bob Burkich. Paid the Teamster dues. I had my commercial license. I was doing underground pipeline construction, and I was making almost $30 an hour. That might not sound like a lot, but the last time I had worked, minimum wage was like $6.50. It had been since the 80s, right? So here I am making like $30 an hour. I'm like, holy shit. I thought, man, if I hit, it's only $1,200 a week if you work 40 hours. That's not a lot of money in Southern California, but it was a lot of money to me to be earning legally. A couple things happened. I hated my job. Construction sucks. I don't want to be in a hole putting pipe in. I don't want to haul heavy equipment. I missed people. Anyway, with all that being said, I then went to Bakken in North Dakota, into the oil fields. A bunch of Delancey Street graduates were up there, and they were showing me their check stubs, right? I'm like, holy shit. What are you guys making? Flew up to North Dakota, landed in Williston, got off the plane, had 5 jobs the same day. You have to have a criminal record and a pulse. You're hired, right? Up there I refer to it as the Wild Wild West. But here's the thing: I slept on an air mattress on the floor for the first month at my buddy's apartment. I worked 31 days in a row and made $17,500 in 1 month legally. Cops can't take it from me this time. Stayed there for 5 months, made a bunch of money, threw it in the bank, and I realized 2 things: that making money is fun. It always has been, right? Especially when it's legal and the cops can't take it. But saving lives is rewarding. I had a hole in my heart. But now I had a chunk of money in the bank that was legal. I made it. I'm good. I'm not using drugs. Life's good. I came back to Southern California, and I wanted to get back into the people business. But Delancey Street doesn't hire people. You have to be a resident there, so they don't have paid positions. Started going to all these small programs, doing presentations, 30-day program here, 60-day program here, just doing presentations to their residents, staying connected to that community. And then a God shot happened. Joseph Grenny, our founder, Tim Stay, our CEO, don't come from our same background, LDS, Mormon to the core, wonderful, wonderful men, literally living, knocking on heaven's door. They're that good at people. Reached out to me and said, hey, we want to start a replication of Delancey Street in Utah. Can we meet? So they flew to Los Angeles. We met at LA Live, Fleming's restaurant. You know, LA Live is where the Lakers and the Clippers play. And we sat down for dinner at Fleming's, and I looked at both of them. I said, check this out. Don't either one of you say a word. Who in the hell are you? What's the genesis of thought behind this? What makes you think you can, and why would you want to? Who's first? I interviewed them. An hour later, when they were done telling me who they were, I knew I was in the presence of 2 of the greatest men I'd ever met in my entire life. A couple hours later, they said, are you willing to come to Utah and help us get this started? I said, I'll go to the moon if you don't quit in 6 months when it gets hard. We've now been here for 8.5 years. That's just kind of a skim over for my story and how we got to the Other Side Academy.